just to see all of you here, your friendly faces, to be here to celebrate with us and with the East Mountain community as we open up this space. So we're just going to say a few words. We want to actually dedicate this space today, and we're thrilled that you are all here to be able to do that with us. So there's going to be some words, there's going to be some poetry, there's going to be some music, and a time where we're just going to close in prayer and ask God to bless this space too. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of a background about how we got here. Back in the summer of 2020, when we were all locked down, my dear wife was sitting in looking at our back garden, and she felt a gentle nudge of the Spirit say to her, build a prayer garden. So she brought this to me. She said, I really think that God is saying that we should build a prayer garden here at Wall End. And we were asking questions at the time like everyone was. What are we going to do next? We had done a number of things with our community, and a lot of those things, because of the pandemic, could no longer happen. So we were asking the question, what's next for us? And this was a clear sense of direction. So to make a long story short, we thought, well, maybe in this prayer garden, we could build a summer hut, a summer house. And our friend Nick Middleman said, well, why don't you build a shepherd's hut? It's on wheels. And we both said to him, well, what is a shepherd's hut? It was one of those American questions that we just didn't know enough. He said, well, it's like a summer house, but it's on wheels. So I got online and I'm like, shepherd's hut. I'm like, oh, that would be brilliant. So that was sort of the birth of this idea of to have a space where people could come, where men and women could come, and they could be in a space where they could meet with the Good Shepherd. That was really the heart of this and the desire that we had for it. So one of the things that we wanted to present to you today was a piece of music that a new board member, Bob Bell, is going to play. And it's based on one of perhaps the best known psalm, Psalm 23. And for those of you who are involved in church, you know that that's written by a man named David, a man who himself was a shepherd before he became a king. So he knew a lot about what it meant to be a shepherd and to care for sheep. And as I'm sure you've all heard and know here in Scotland, because there are a lot of sheep are not the most intelligent animals. They need a lot of help. They get themselves into trouble a lot. And they need a good shepherd who's going to care for them. So David in this psalm is talking about the Lord being his shepherd, about caring for him, by leading him beside quiet waters, leading him beside lush pasture, and preparing a place. So as you'll hear in the psalm, then the image shifts a little bit. It talks about the Lord actually preparing a place at a table, a feast in the presence even of enemies. So those two things really were in the back of our minds and our hearts for creating this space. We wanted a space where people could come and get away, to find rest and restoration, where they could be with the Good Shepherd and to hear his voice. And also this idea of a feast. So as a community, what we desired to do was to set a table. Be able to set a table, and this is the table, where people could come. And we knew that we as a community were not the ones who were going to provide the food, that we actually were not really the hosts, that there is a host who will provide the food in this space. And this is what this place is all about. So we really want to throw our arms open wide to welcome you and others that you might know to be able to come and to spend time here with the Good Shepherd. That's what this place is all about. So Bob is actually going to play a rendition that you've written of Psalm 23, which will say these words, and then some of our other community members are just going to say a thing or two about their own experiences here.
The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in greenest fields. He leads me beside the quiet water. He restores my empty soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. And even though I walk through death's dark valley, no evil need I ever fear. For you are with me, and your rod and staff, your comfort and guidance I receive. A satisfying meal you set before me, in the presence of my foes. My head with all you have anointed, my cup it overflows. Surely goodness and love they will pursue me all the days of my life. And I will live in your presence, Lord, for all my days.